Hello,
Hmm.
I'm Ed Parris of So Romantic.
Oh, how can I call you? Ed?
Yeah, Ed is fine.
Okay.
Absolutely
ということで。
perfect.
はい、ソーロマンティックという会社のエドさんですね。ということで皆さん、and what do you do?
Um, I mean, I own the studio, but I'm the only employee. So, like, I,
え、
the studio owner, I guess, but it's
OK。
only me.
Alright, ということで、ジャック・ムーブ、の、開発会社でソーロマンティックの、というスタジオのオーナーなのですが、従業員は1人なので、なんて言えばいいのかなっていう感じです。Alright, so today we'll be talking in English and then I'll do the translation to Japanese. 本日ですね、英語でお話をして、そしてそれを日本語で、会話していくという感じですね。How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. Yes,
Really?
it's been
Yeah.
I had a couple of days off this week, so I'm
Oh,
quite
at last,
relaxed.
I guess. At last.
Yeah, more for like some like family
Mhm.
stuff, like
Yeah.
hospital visit yesterday and things.
Ah,
So
okay.
just
Mhm.
not really any work.
Yeah.
So
Are
yeah,
you? Can you like say if you have like children or not, or is that like kind of?
yes, yeah,
Ah.
yeah. I've got a 18-month-old son, so we
Ooh.
went to the hospital yesterday just to have I think he got his flu shot.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's nice.
So
That's nice. How's the
yeah.
how's the how's the child? Is the baby nice and active?
Oh, too active, too active. He was going crazy today,
Wait.
and then
Ah, お子さんがどうや
yeah.
らですね、18ヶ月のお子さんがいるようで、昨日は病院とか行って家族のことをやっていたそうですね。So, during development, you had a child and you're also developing. So, that
Mhm.
is kind of. How is it to be a father, a daddy developer?
It's quite a challenge.
Mhm.
It's not too bad because I work from home,
Mhm.
so my office is at home. I'm at home now.
Yeah, nice, nice.
Um, so I can just kind of get up when I want if he's awake super late at night or anything like that. So it's been okay. I think the first few months were a bit stressful, but
Yeah,
it's
I guess it.
I don't really remember much of that.
Yeah, it's
So
life. Things just go on, right?
yeah, it was just a blur, and it was like, you know, need to make a game, need to look after a baby.
Mm.
Okay, let's just get it done. So
Yeah, yeah. So,
yeah.
a little about the game. で、ゲームについてもちょっとお話をしたいと思います。今話してたのはですね、父親として、子育てをしながら、赤ちゃんがいる。そして、開発、一緒にやるのってどうでしたかって聞いたところですね、いや、いろいろ大変だったと、確かに。でただ、それに慣れていくまではちょっと大変だったけど、結局やるしかないよな、みたいな感じで進んでいったそうですね。Thank you for the bits. I'm earning money for this, by the way. Yay, thank you, money! So in Twitch, there's you know Twitch, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
okay.
of course.
Thank you for the bits. Bits ありがとう。
Am I going to get a cut of this?
I could buy a game
Ju-
and then give it to someone. How's that?
Sure. Okay, that works.
Alright. ということなんですよね。で、ゲームについても、hold on, just looking at the comments. Oh, there's one comment saying, being a solo developer, there are people who own a company as well. Do you think that is something that solo developers should do, or is there a reason that you went for the company?
I have a company
Hmm.
mainly because I have also done a bunch of freelance work, and it's easier to have a company and like put the money through that and
Yeah.
have it all registered than it is to like in the UK it's called like a sole trader. Like you can just run a company and you don't need to register company,
Oh,
but it's just like a little bit more paperwork to do it that way.
Okay. Interesting.
Whereas this way is it's it's just a slightly different way of doing it. Also, like if you want to do often with some of the platform holders like Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, if you want to work with them, you need to have a registered company. So
I think
that's
wow,
part
that's
of the
a
other reason too.
very interesting answer. 個人開発で会社を持ってる方ちょくちょくいますねという話に関してどうして会社を持ったんですかっていうところを聞いたところ、理由はいくつかあったんですが、その2つ大きなのがですね、まずイギリスの方ではどうやらソウルマーチャントみたいな、個人で登記はしなくても登録しなくてもいいけど会社として運営することが可能であるっていうことらしいんですよね。ちょっと、書く紙が増えるらしいんです、書類がね。その場合だからお金の、動かし方が楽になるっていうのが一つで、フリーランスだったからそういうこともやっていたっていうことらしいんですよね。で、プラットフォーム、ソニーであったりとかですね、マイクロソフト、Xbox ですね、Steam であったりとかと、話をするときにやはり会社があった方が動きやすい、話聞かれやすいっていうところがあるそうですね。それだいぶ面白い話だと思います。Thank you for the bits, thank you for the bits. There's someone saying Jack Move is also love towards the child. That's one of the big themes there.
That's nice. Thank
ジ
you.
ャックも子供への愛は割と大きなテーマだったねというコメントに対してありがとうだそうです。Alright, a little bit about the game. So in the background there'll be game footage, just the first about 15-20 minutes.
Cool.
What is Jack Move? Jack Move って何ですか？
Jack Move is a Japanese style role-playing game set in a sort of cyberpunk world.
ジャックムーブは、JRPG スタイルのゲームでサイバーパンクの世界が舞台ですっていうのが、ジャックムーブですね。So, what do you mean by JRPG style?
So, when you were streaming the game a couple of weeks ago, we did have a conversation about the difference between
Yes, that's why I'm asking this again.
RPGs in Japan and RPGs in the West. So in the West, there is a very distinct difference between what people discern as Japanese RPGs and Western RPGs. And what that means for Japanese style is it's still just as broad as Western style.
Yes.
And I think now it doesn't really make any sense because stuff is still they're like the two things have kind of merged. Like you could say like Elden Ring or something is just as much a Western style RPG than any Western style, but it's still Japanese. I don't think people call it a JRPG.
Yeah, because the conversation we had, right? In Japan, we don't have the word JRPG. Because every RPG in Japan is just
an RPG. Yeah. But like in the West, like Western RPGs are just RPGs, but there's still the sort of concept of Japanese RPGs. I think there's been a lot of fantastic writing on the subject. I've got a really big book that is just about Japanese RPGs. I think it might be.
If you want to look for it,
it's in a box.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's not on my shelf. I can't remember. Maybe it's. I don't know. I can't remember where it is. Anyway.
Yeah.
In the early 80s and things, when people started making RPGs on computers, they were often mimicking Dungeons and Dragons. And Western developers stuck quite rigidly to that format. Where you have stats and you are assigning your own points to those stats and things. And Japanese developers kind of went down a slightly different route of like defining your party for you and what stats you had and things, and then telling a very defined story with those characters, whereas the West was like much more up to the player to kind of define things and then explore on their own. And those two paths kind of went down until they've come back around and kind of met each other again.
It's like going like this, isn't it?
Yeah. So so my idea of a Japanese style RPG is very much like my favorite era of Japanese RPGs is like Squaresoft before they became Square Enix.
Yeah.
So like Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, Grandia, Golden Sun, stuff like PlayStation era, PlayStation 2 era kind of Japanese RPGs, like turn-based combat, linear story, you have a party, that kind of stuff.
All right. All right. So give me a few minutes for this.
Oh, yes. Oh my god. Sorry, I forgot. We gotta translate.
まず、ですね、これ日本語のスイッチ版あるよ。Is there a Switch version, by the way?
Of
Jack Move?
Yeah, it's on everything. PlayStation, Xbox, Switch.
There's someone saying that
Steam, Epic, everything.
There's someone saying, oh, there's a Switch version in Japanese. Oh, I may buy it. So
yes, every language on every platform.
Any comments to what would you like to say to that person who says he's thinking of buying it?
I think I have heard that the translation is very good.
Okay, so he should buy it.
Yes, definitely.
これ日本語のスイッチ版もあるかなっていうね、ケイユさんのコメントで、ちょっと伝えたんですけど、全てのプラットフォームも大体のプラットフォームも出てるし、日本語版もしっかりできてるから、ぜひお買い求めくださいという直接のお言葉をいただきました。Okay, and yes, there's someone using Jack Move emotes.
Yes, I just seen that Joe Creates in the chat is the lead artist and animator on the game.
Oh, Joe Creates っていうのがリードアニメーターだそうです。Okay, by the way, the animation in this game is amazing. It's really good. Alright. 本当アニメーションが超すごいので。さて、OK、JRPG についてですが、このゲームはなぜ JRPG スタイルなんですが、JRPG スタイルって何ですかっていうことになったんですよね。まず、日本では JRPG っていうジャンルはぶっちゃけ存在しないです。なぜかというと、日本で作ってる RPG は全部 RPG だからね。もう JRPG になっちゃってるから。で、どうやらですね、大百科を見るとニコニコのね、2000年代、2000年前半、2003、何年だ ?2000 数年に、2000年代、ね、北米市場の方で、日本の RPG というのを売るために向こうで使い始めた単語だそうです。で、今、エドさんが言ってたのが、英語の方の RPG っていうのは、まあ、おそらくテストかね、あれ系なので、どちらかというとステータスをそれぞれ与えて、キャラクターにね。で、いろんな世界をやっていくと。で、ダンジョン&ドラグンズをベースにした RPG が多い。で、日本の場合は、一本道の、ストーリーがあって、で、キャラクターパーティーやって、で、重厚なね、ストーリーを教えてくれるっていうのが JRPG。で、それが違う方向にお互い進んでいった。まあ、我々の方でも話したけど、選択型のシステムですね。ニコニコの方でもね、コマンド RPG 本当立つから、今はほとんどアクション寄り、そう、アクション寄りがあるからね、コマンド RPG っていうのはやっぱ存在するから。で、こういう風に言って、今はまあ元に戻ったね、こうクロスしてるねっていうと、多分だからこう言ってるんじゃないかなっていう感じなんですよね。そう、和製英語の逆版みたいな、そう、向こうで使われたっていうことだからね。そう、なのでね、JRPG、で、Steam でも JRPG のジャンルあるから、ちなみに。っていうのがあります。ということなんです。OK。大丈夫。Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And okay, a little bit. Go ahead.
So I've seen Amelie, our writer, is also in the chat as well. So
Amelie, hey! ライターの方もいらっしゃるです。ということで、ジョーさんが、アニメーターの方。今ね、動画出てますね。Okay, I was going to ask a few questions, but the video is there. So let's look at the video here.
Sure.
Okay, I really love, well, everything about it, but the animation really has a huge impact. All right, because for a 2D game, this looks alive. It looks, I want to say, it looks 3D-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is down to Joe's style of art, like as soon as I saw Joe's pixel art, I knew that I wanted to work with him. It took a year or maybe 2 until that happened. But we got there in the end. But like Joe's understanding of light and form and movement just brings everything to life in a way that I think so few animators do. And yeah, it just makes it look amazing. Like it's like really subtle things, like the way, you know, like the light is like hitting an upper arm, but it's different on the lower arm, and just
that story reminds me of, I don't know why, but the movie Roger Rabbit. You know?
Yeah. Also, yeah, I mean, that's the other thing that Joe's animation is really or really excels at, is like the I'm trying to describe it in a good way. It's not like smooth movement, but it's like it's kind of very cinematic, I guess, in the way that he uses a lot of motion blur. In animation, it's called smears. So the way that when something is moving very fast, it's like on a camera you get motion blur, but in animation it's called smear, where you're just kind of like smearing the
that's where Big Chungus came from, right? That's a meme, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, just bringing that kind of stuff to his animation rather than it just being straight frame by frame just gives it so much more. It gives it the ability to have a lot of impact and a lot of it sounds stupid, but motion.
I know what you mean. The motion, I feel that because it puts in motion, it gives it life. Because usually, like 2D games, right? You have, you know, maybe 8 sides to it, you know, going to all ways, and then maybe some action. You have set actions, but because you have, as you said, the smears in it, it feels like it's moving in.
Yes.
Right. It's like moving like a 3D game.
Yeah. It tricks your eye into seeing more detail than is actually there.
Yes, exactly. All right.
Even though in theory it's less detail.
ですね、ドットについて、アニメーションについて、話をしてたんですね。私このゲームを見たときにですね、アニメーションが本当に生き生きしてると思ったんですよね。そう戦闘のアニメの戦闘のアニメの爽快感というか、アニメの爽快感が本当に良くて、でそれが、すごく売りの一つだと思ってるんですよ。でジョーさん、リードアニメーターの方ですね、最初に彼のドットを見た時にこの人はいいと思って一緒に仕事を始めたらしいんですよ。ただ最初に見た時から実際に働くまで2年ぐらいあったそうなんですけどね。でその、ジョーさんのいいところは実際のアニメのようにですね、コマとコマの間に、特にアメコミ、日本はやってるのかな、モーションブラーを入れてさ、コマとコマの間にそのキャラクターをこう潰すみたいな、それで動きを出すっていうアニメーションの技法があるんですけど、それを、よく、ドットで使っていると。普通ドットはですね、やはり例えば8方向のピッピッピッってやって、それぞれアニメがカッカッカッって決まってるんですけど、彼の場合は間に、ぶっちゃけ使えないコマを入れることによって、ドットを入れることによって生き生きとしているっていう感じがすごくいいんですよね。定期ソフトやつが指パッチンわかる、めっちゃ好き。そう、女の子が素手で、there's one comment saying it's quite rare to see a girl hitting with her bare hands.
They're not hanging out in the right clubs. I don't know.
True. Okay, so I want to go with the number 3 of my list that I gave you. Why this protagonist? Why did you choose her?
Man, that's a good question.
今聞いてるのがなぜこの主人公にしたのかっていう、なぜこの子を主人公の、お話にしたのかっていうことですね。
I'm trying to think now. I think it's just choose a protagonist that's not like a white guy.
You wanted to go somewhere different, right? Not the typical way.
Yeah, I think, and I think maybe partly, like if I play a game and there is an option, I will generally choose the female option. So if I'm playing like a fighting game or something, I'll always choose female characters or what have you. So I think I'm gonna if I'm gonna make a game and I'm gonna have to play this character, a lot, make something interesting that I would like to play or like to see.
So, do you have a reason? It's just
No.
you just fancy that play style.
Yeah, I think so. It's really not like a complex reason other than just try to do something different from most role-playing video games. Like most role-playing video games are like, there's a guy and he's got to go and save the village.
The usual stuff.
So that kind of thing. Just
そうなぜこの主人公にしたかっていうと、ちょっとしばらく考えて、まあでも白人の男性以外がとりあえずやりたかったっていうのはあるそうなんですよね。基本的にやっぱりテンプレとして白人男性がボンって出るのが普通あるじゃないですか。ただそれをやっぱりちょっと違うところ行きたかったと。で彼自身が、ゲームをプレイするときにですね、女性キャラクターを使うことが多いそうです。格ゲーでも性別が選べるゲームでもですねっていうのが多いので、私もですけどね Me too by the way I also prefer female characters、で、その時に Wait actually No, anyway. でその時にだったらやっぱりそれ系でいきたいなというのがありました。This goes into the first one also. So how did this start off? So what came first? Did the idea of a cyberpunk game, JRPG, a protagonist, what came first?
I think just the idea of making a JRPG first. And then the cyberpunk part, and then the rest. It's a very long and drawn out process. So like if you look at some of the screenshots that I sent you, they look really, really bad. It's very different.
Okay, hold on. Just to confirm, how many years in the making?
It was 9 in July, I think.
このゲームですね、7月で、9年かけて制作されたゲームなんですね。なので、とても長いプロセスを経ていますと。でこのゲームはどこから始まったんですかって聞いたらですね、まず JRPG が作りたいっていうのがあった。で次にサイバーパンクを付け加えた。でその後残りができたっていうことなんですよね。で、特に初期のですね見ますと OK here we go、
All right. Yes.
All right.
Very different.
Very different. これがですね初期も初期です。One of the first ones, right?
Yes. So I think that's like 2014. Is that right?
It's 2014. これ2014年のスクショです。Yes, 2014 says. I would also like to show a GIF. Or do you prefer GIF?
Don't mind.
これが最初。
So the first one was like really, and I think it was even started maybe even earlier than that, because like it's just gone through like a lot of technology and things. Like I'm just starting to learn how to make games, and so that kind of stuff changed.
Have you previously made games?
No.
これが一番初作のゲームだそうです。
Well, not by the time I started. Let's say that. So this is like the first game that I started.
Game, right?
Yes.
ゲームとしてこれが初めて。
And then, like, I made a couple of smaller, like, game jam things, like, during the very beginning, and then it was like, oh, okay, I think I know what I'm doing, and I can kind of start properly on this now. So, yeah. So the difference between that first screenshot and the GIF was like the first screenshot was like, I don't really know how to make games, and the GIF is like, okay, I think I know how to make this and how I'm going to make it.
なるほど。最初の SS スクショは、本当ゲームをまだ学び始めたところで、これはやっとゲームとして、こうやって動かせばいいんだなっていうのが分かり始めたところ。これが2年後なんですよ、実は。これが2014年。This is 2014, and the GIF itself is 2016. So 2
Yes.
years. ここに
Yeah.
2年経ってます。
So I will point out this.
Yeah.
I was not working on it full time for the whole 9 years. I had a job for a very long time. So yes.
そうなの。わかる。金ちゃん走りめっちゃわかる。There's a comedian in Japan who ran like this. Yes, exactly.
Yes. I will point out that's my animation,
Ah.
and you can see now why I wanted to work with Joe.
これは彼がやったアニメーションで、どうして私がジョーとね、ここにアニメーターの方と働きたかったのかっていうのがよくわかると思います。とのことです。And then compared there, wow, that is quite a big difference, isn't it?
Yes.
That is.
Yeah, as I said in a message to you earlier, it's like it's still kind of amazing how much is similar from the really early stuff to now. Like a lot of stuff still stayed the same. Like there's still like the grid.
Yes.
You know, it's still got the red jacket and the jeans and the 3 bars and stuff.
そう、こういうのを見ると確かに
So bad.
How does it feel? How do you feel looking at these with everyone?
Slightly embarrassed, but it's. I mean, it's like prototypes, right? It's like you can't be, you know, it got there in the end. That's the important thing.
Yes, exactly.
This is just a stepping stone to getting there.
You know, the thing, right? The thing is, the game is out, so that's why you can look back on this. If you're still mid-development, then it will be much harder, right?
Yes.
これを実際にみんなと見てどう思いますかって、やっぱりちょっと恥ずかしいっていうのはあるそうです。でもゲームをちゃんと出してるからとりあえず OK っていうのはあるそうですね。でも、現在のゲームと、このスクショであったりとか GIF を見るとですね、やはり根幹の部分あまり変わってないのが多いっていうね。例えばジャケットの色であったりグリッド製であったりとか、そういうとこあまり変わってないかなという話はしてますね。そう、実際こういうグラフィックのそう、It does look like those、similar to some games, these kind of dots. Whatchamacall them?
The pixels.
Yeah. Like, how is this 8-bit? No, it's not.
I mean, at this point, it's kind of like however many bits you want.
That's true.
Yeah, like, especially during this time, why a lot of this looks so bad is because there's no, like, I didn't really have any art understanding. Like, Joe taught me a lot about how to make pixel art look a lot better than this.
But hold on, you say it's bad, but as a gamer who plays a lot of games, this does look like a normal game, by the way.
Well, it looks okay, I guess. I don't know. I think my standard is maybe a bit higher now.
Yeah, after seeing Joe. Okay,
yes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So like the 8-bit and 16-bit is like the amount of the amount of bits that your processor has dictates the amount of colors you can display.
Yeah.
And so the difference between 8-bit and 16-bit is a lot. Whereas now we can just show as many colors as we like. I mean, it's 32-bit is even more. So it's kind of like the style that I was aiming for, though, I think was kind of like 16-bit SNES.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, like SNES Plus, I guess.
I can't imagine SNES. One of my favorite SNES dot game is Final Fantasy VI. I really think that's one of the pinnacles of, graphic-wise on what they did. But the motion. Oh, I love this scene, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, they're very, very good, very good. More games should do this. So but I really, as we said, talked about it before, the motion is quite different. It is definitely modernized. Definitely
Yes,
modernized.
I think
Yes.
that's just purely through years of people being able to like further the art of pixel art. Like so many more techniques have been developed and like codified and distilled down into like what looks nice and what doesn't look nice and what works and all that kind of stuff. And it's and that information is shared across the internet as well. So you can, start learning that stuff now. Whereas I think, back in the old days in the 90s or whatever, that information was probably a lot harder to come across or get shared between studios. So they all just did their own thing, and there wasn't, those techniques being shared until you could like study other games and
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Even 9 years ago, that was 2010-ish. Oh no, 2012,
2012,
2013.
13, I think.
Yeah,
13.
right. That's still the internet is starting kind of building up information, isn't it?
Yeah, there was still a lot of information out there. There's like a lot of there's like a few good forums that were really useful,
Okay.
and yeah, Twitter and stuff like that. So
OK。で、とりあえず、なんでしょう。いろんなの、いろんなの経てこうなったっていうのはでかいっていうまとまっちゃったんですよね。細かい話はちょっと飛ばしますけど、なんでしょう。やっぱり16ビット、スーファミスタイルをちょっと目指したっていうのも確かにあるっていうのはあるんですね。で、当時本当自分グラフィックっていうかモーションとか全くもう全て勉強しながらだったので、その当時はいろんなインターネットを見つつ、成長していったと。で、ジョーさんにも本当いろいろ教えてもらったと。やはりいろんな技術があるんだなっていうのはとっても大きいそうですね。I was going to ask you something. Hold on. Well, that was good. I had a good question. Should have noted it. You were talking about. Hold on. We were talking about internet. We were talking about information. Oh, game engine. So Unity all along?
no, it started like the earliest thing was a JavaScript engine called Impact.js that was for like making stuff work in web browsers.
Oh, wait, what's the name again?
So it's called Impact.js.
Impact.js. Okay.
Yes, it's like really, really small. It's not very well known, but it's kind of my previous job before working in games was like making websites and marketing stuff for companies, and so I knew how to use JavaScript, and so I was like, okay, if I want to start making games, like I'd start with a thing that I know how to use. And this was when like web browsers were starting to get these like new capabilities of like showing video and like stuff that wasn't Flash and things. So that's where I started. And then what was the Microsoft one? XNA, which was like built for making indie stuff on Xbox. And then Unity.
Wait, so because I can't imagine you porting it, so you recreated.
Oh no, it's like start from scratch.
Yeah, right.
Like
Scratch, right?
different. Like the first thing was like, okay, I want to make an RPG kind of thing. I will just poke around. Like I didn't get very far in that at all. Like the furthest I got was like you can press a button and a guy like does a little attack, and that was it. There's nothing else there. And then the next one was like, oh, you could walk around a little bit. There were some walls. I think I started the battle stuff, but it was different. And then like there was like a point where something came out, like Unity added a feature.
Wait, is that the renowned one where the dots kind of moved?
No, I can't remember. There was something that Unity added that was like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll try Unity now, because that seems like it would be easier to do stuff than whatever I was using before.
Yeah, because I remember Unity wasn't good with 2D, but then
when I started, it was still not good at 2D. But I think maybe it was when they added the 2D stuff. It must have been. It must have been when they added the 2D stuff.
Okay. Alright. どうやらですね、まず、最初からこのゲーム Unity 製なんですけど、最初から Unity ではなく、やっぱ9年前ですからね、Impact.js という、どうやらですね、当時はそのウェブページを作ったりとかしてたらしいんですよね。なので、それはそういう知識があったと。なのでそこからゲームを作るにどうすればいいかということで JavaScript だったりとか、そういうのを使って、Impact.js で。その後 XNA という Xbox でインディーゲーム向けのやつがあったそうなんで、そこでちょっと作り始めたと。で、その後で Unity に移ったそうなんですよね。で Unity に移った理由は Unity が何かしらのアップデートをして 2D ゲームが作りやすくなったから移動したらしいんですよね。でそれぞれ移動するごとにやっぱゼロから作り直すっていう状態だったらしいんですよね。もちろんそのゲームをきっちり作ってから移動したわけではなく、ある程度作って次、ある程度作って次、ある程度作って次というで最終的に Unity に落ち着いたっていうのが現状らしいですね。There's a question about localization. Did you? Sorry for jumping topics here, but
that's okay.
Was it okay? How did you proceed with localization? And okay. Did you want to localize this game from the start? Do you want everyone to play the game?
Not from the start, but when I started getting serious about things, I added in the ability to have localization so that when I went to publishers to show the game, I could say it's got these features, localization is ready to go, works with a controller, blah blah blah, like that kind of feature set to make it a bit more attractive.
ローカライゼーション、最初からローカライゼーション考えてたわけではなかったんですよね。ただゲームを売りたいと思った時に、じゃあそこでローカライゼーションの機能を入れていこうと。だからパブリッシャーに持っていった時にローカライゼーションを、できますよ、パッドでもプレイできますよっていう説明できるように言ったそうなんですよね。A little question about localization. You said that you implemented so that it'll be easier to localize. How do you do that?
How does a localization system actually work?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big spreadsheet, and it just has a column for every language, and the localizations just
manually, yeah.
The localizers just fill in the column, and it's like a Google spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And then I have a button in Unity that just says download the spreadsheet. And it downloads it and puts it into Unity and does some stuff, and then there it is. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
ローカライゼーションの話を、ちょっと簡単に説明していただいたんですよね。スプシーみたいなところにコラムがあって、でそこに英語があって、そこにローカライザーが、翻訳者ですね、ローカライザーを入れると。で、Unity の方の機能でそれを、ダウンロードして読み取ること。で、それを表示することができるっていうことなんですよね。there's one question. The localizers have no context? That's also a very difficult question.
They had the game, so they could play through the game in English to understand what was happening. And also, they would ask questions, and there was like a notes field in the spreadsheet. So anytime anybody asked a question, I would add the question and the answer, or summarize the
feel of the language,
the question to the notes field, so that that information got shared between localizers, if that makes sense.
ゲームをちゃんと持っており、でゲームをプレイしてで質問があったらちゃんと開発者の方も質問がいくという形だったらしいです。なのでコンテクストもちゃんとあったっていうことなんですね。Because I remember listening to an interview from Fallout 4. So because they really want to keep things restricted and secret, so they only got lines that are out of context, even the voiceover, even the voiceover actors. So I hear that even the translators, they only got a bunch of text randomly. So that's why
That just sounds crazy.
I know that's
Like,
so that's why sometimes, to be honest, the localization for that game is off. But
yeah, I can
if you
imagine that would be
if you
terrible.
consider that, then it's very understandable. そうフォーラート4もそう確か部分部分でしかもらえなかったの。部分部分でしかもらえないと、特に AAA は部分部分でしかもらえないので、秘密保持のためですね、なかなか翻訳が微妙になったりっていうインディーの強みだと思いますね。I really feel that's one of the strong parts of indie. Like, because it's a small team, there is a lower risk for things, getting out.
Yeah, I don't care about leaks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, unless you're like super high profile,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like we've shown a lot of stuff off online. Like Joe would stream quite often.
Mhm.
So he like streamed the creation of the final boss.
Mhm.
It's like the amount of people that watch that is tiny compared to the amount of people that are going to play it in total. So like if you don't want to be spoiled, then don't watch that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It doesn't in the overall scheme of things, it's not a bad thing to like show what you're working on, I don't think.
I feel, to be honest, like, for indie games, creating a community or building a community is has a higher priority compared to keeping things secret.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
For
there's not really much reason.
Yeah.
You could even argue in AAA, what does it like? Who cares?
Well, Valve doesn't, so they really hate it. So.
Yeah, I guess no one in AAA has ever really been that open about stuff. I wonder how that would go.
Well, they have the money, they have the budget to, do marketing.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. で、何でしたっけ、今何でしたっけそうそうそう、リークとかの話じゃなくて、例えばジョーさんは結構ですね、配信とかでアニメーションの配信とかしてたらしいんですよね。で、だからそこまで秘密保持を気にしないで、全然バンバンと。で、特にインディーはですね、やはりある程度コミュニティをこう積み立てていくというか、立てて広げていくっていうのがやっぱ大事。で、トリプル A はやっぱりマーケティングの金もあるし、リークを気にするっていう、ことがありますからね。I also want to go. I also want to go into the story a bit because you have the writer here, the lead story, but not deep into spoilers.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. How far can we go in? Okay, the character. Okay, the protagonist. She's very open, active, sassy, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
sassy is definitely one way of describing her.
So, why did it go that way? Why? Because it is a cyberpunk, kind of post-apocalyptic feeling there. Why is it not dark and gritty?
Because I don't have that in me. Like that's that. I think that's how it was very early on. Like I really wanted to make like that kind of like typical, really dark, depressing cyberpunk kind of thing. Also bear in mind when I started on this, there was like the cyberpunk renaissance that we have seen in the last 10 years was not really a thing. I think Cyberpunk 2077 was just announced around that time. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of people doing this kind of stuff. So yeah, I wanted to go really dark and gritty, and then I think I got to the point where I was like, that's not really me. Like as a person, I don't know if I could do that very well. Whereas like a bit more chipper, happy kind of character is a bit easier for me to kind of get across. And then and then Emily took over the script and the writing and just gave Noah yeah, the life that she
な
has
ね、
now.
OK、OK。はい、ちょっとストーリーね、ネタバレはほぼしないで話すんですが、キャラクター自体はですね、とっても元気な活発な子なんですよね。こうちょっとね、こう、なんでしょう、生意気口調っていう言い方が正しいのかわかんないですが、っていうか、主人公なんですね。で、サイバーパンクで、しかもちょっとポストアポカリプス感がある。それなのになぜ、そのストーリーは暗くならなかったんですかっていうのを聞いたんですよね。そうした場合、開発者エドさん曰く、自分はそういうふうに動いていなかった、考えていなかったっていうのがまず一つと、もう一個は、まだ9年前なの、当時は、今のようにサイバーパンクが戻ってきた感じがなかったんですよね。そういう時代じゃなかった。サイバーパンクはまだそこまで広まっていなかった状態なんです。なので、暗いさ、サイバーパンクの話といえば、もう人間はボロボロで、もう我々はやべえみたいな状態になっていた。ということは考えずに自分のこう性格というか自分の気持ちに似ているこう楽しくっていうのを、まあ、やっていったそうなんですね。で、そこから始まってでエミリーさんに、がその書きの方スクリプトですね、まあ、続きを書いて広がっていったっていうことなんですね。あ、そうだ、日本語訳のことも後でもう一回聞いてみるわ。Thank you, thank you. So, did you like have a lot of talks about the script on how the story should go, or did you just, let her write free?
So I came up with a very loose story. I worked with a guy called Ed Fear, who I worked with at my previous job, who is a writer there, and he kind of helped me get it a bit better. And then,
More
and
like in
then
order?
yeah, in order, and just like, I mean, it was like literally like one page, just these are the kind of story beats, this is what happened. And then I worked with that's terrible, I can't remember his name now. Wait.
今のところ、ストーリー、
Oh no, carry on.
OK、ストーリーはを作るときにですね、エミリーさんといろいろ話をしながら作ったんですかっていうのを聞いたら、まずはとりあえず1ページのですね、なんかこういう感じでストーリー進んでいくっていうのを作ったらしいんですよね。で、その時に一緒に協力してくれた人もいたそうです。その方が、今名前覚えられなかったそうですが、Yes?
So yeah, I worked with a guy called Marco Palmieri, who then took like my one page and made it into, I think it's like 6 or 7 pages. Like give it a sort of treatment, I think they call it. So again, so that when I'm pitching to publishers, I have a professionally written version of the story, and he again took the story and was like, well, this bit doesn't make sense here. What if we move this here? What if we change this part? Blah blah blah. Like, just took my bad writing, and again made it better. and then once we found a publisher and had guaranteed money, that's when I started looking for an actual script writer to take those few pages and turn that into an actual big script with dialogue and everything, and that's when we found Emily.
OK。で、1ページがあって、それを知り合いとこう整理して、そしたらマルコさんという方がいらっしゃって、その方がそれを6ページ、7ページぐらいで書いてくれたそうなんですよね。で、しかもその時になんか、まあ、話のなんか穴とかなんか変なところをいろいろ整理したと。で、それのおかげできちんとパブリッシャーに見せられるプロ的なものが、ちゃんとしたものができたと。で、その後でエミリーさんにはお会いして、そこから長くなったそうなんですね。Oh, someone just bought the game.
Oh,
nice.
Thank you very much.
わ、この面白そうだからポチってみたって、ナイス。ありがとうございます。それ超嬉しいから。マジで。本当嬉しいから、それ。ありがとうございます。Oh, there's one question about the localization. So, in Japanese, we have hiragana, katakana, and kanji, those three different characters. And the localizers only used hiragana and katakana, which really creates the world of cyberpunk. Weirdly, it just feels nice. So,
Okay.
did he have a say in that, or was that?
That was up to the Japanese localizers, and I think they chose that for like a more old school kind of feel. I think they wanted to like Final Fantasy VI and like SNES
Yeah.
games. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Would they use those character sets?
They would. They from 6ish there was kanji being able to use, but pre those days, it was very hard to put in those kanjis because of the size of the the language.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah.
日本語のやつはローカライザーの方がやってくれたそうなんですよね。なんでしょう。特にローカライザーの方が日本語のそのひらがなとカタカナ表示のみですね。で、ジャックムーブは漢字が表示されていないんですよ。なので、より僕個人としてはサイバーパンク感がすごい出てると思うんですけど、それはどうやらローカライザーの判断らしいです。で、ローカライズの会社はどうやらですね、そのゲームのその回顧感をちょっと出したかった。昔のゲームはこんなだったねっていうことで、それを作ったそうなんですよね。それがぶっちゃけすごいいい感じになってる気がする。たまに読みづらいけど、なんか雰囲気すごくいいよね。ぶっちゃけあれで漢字がいっぱい出過ぎたら、俺、こんな気持ちになってないと思うもん。ちょっと面白いと思うわ。ね。Yeah, so yeah, we're just talking about how the hiragana and katakana thing really creates a world. Yes, sometimes it is difficult to read, but if it was like if there was a lot of kanji, I feel that I wouldn't have this emotion of actually noticing what I'm reading. I'll just read.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, we have a raid.
Wow.
Wow, Kuri-chan. Thank you. Kuri-chan is another streamer. She plays a lot of games. She will be playing Jack Move soon.
Cool.
Yes. Very, very funny. Very funny lady.
Awesome.
いらっしゃい。クリちゃんさんいらっしゃい。ありがとう。今、ジャックムーブの開発者の、インタビューをさせていただいております。今までいろんな話してきました。これ動画にも残すんで、We're gonna have a VOD for this one too. So if you just need to catch up, wait ahead. And a little more questions to go through. まだ質問いっぱいあります。A little more into what was the hardest thing to develop or during development?
The hardest thing.
What do you think? It doesn't have to be like technical. It can be anything.
So originally in the battle system, it was a lot slower paced because the way that I built it was like Noah would go and do a punch and she would do like the full animation, and then the enemy would then like get
react.
punched.
Yeah,
yes, react. And so it wasn't as fluid.
The timing?
Yeah, there's just there's no overlap between the two animations. So it's literally like she would punch.
Yeah.
And then the enemies would be like,
yeah.
So it was, and that was purely because the battle system was one of the first things I started programming, and that's just I was like, I'm going to do it this way because that is how I can do it. That's the extent of my knowledge of how to build this thing. And then I never really questioned it that much until we put out a demo and people said, this is really slow.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And I was just going to leave it. And then had a conversation with Joe, and he was like, you should really just spend half a day or a day, like see if there's something that you could like change, see if you can get it more smooth, like with like overlapping animations and actions and things. And as was usual on the projects, Joe would suggest something and I would not want to do it because I'm lazy. And he was always right. Everything Joe suggested was always right. It was always worth putting in the effort to do those things because it always made the game better. So yes, I spent like a day or two thinking about it, and then kind of like tried some things, and eventually found a solution that did work. But it was horrible and has still causing issues. Like a lot of the bugs that we had was stemmed from that, but not in like a bad way. Just it made things a lot more complicated, and like all the enemies and actions that we already had set up, I would have to go back and like add in like extra markers and things of like, oh, when you on this frame when you're punching, like now do the reaction. So
Okay. Wow, that's very. Thank you. I'm glad Joe said that. Good job, Joe.
Yes, yeah, me too.
ですね、今の質問はですね、ゲームの開発中に一番難しかったことは何ですか、もう大変だったことは何ですかっていうのを聞いたんですよね。で、このゲーム、今、戦闘画面映ってますけど、こっち側ね、映ってますね。今はすごいね、モーションが敵がこう殴って、そして敵がすぐ反応するでしょ。で、このモーションがですね、実はですね、ある程度ちょっと、なんか若干数フレームとか離れてたらしいんですよ、リアクションが。だからパーン殴って、そしてそれを受けて敵が反応するっていう感じだったらしいんですよ。でそれはもう駒まで行くっていう感じだったんですよね。でデモ版をやった時にプレイヤーからなんか遅い、なんかこのゲームのフローが流れが遅いっていうことを言われたそうなんですよ。でその時ってなったんですよ。でその時にリードアニメーターのジョーさんが、いや1日半日とかね、1日でも半日でもいいからさ、どうにかしてさ、そのアニメーションをお互いが若干かぶるようにさ、なんか調整した方がいいんじゃないって。でその開発者エドさん、今ね映ってるエドさんは、まあジョーさんのそのアドバイスを受けて、ね、めんどくさいって思ったらしいんですよ思ったらしいんですけど、いやでもジョーの言うことは正しいということで、1日2日かけてちょっとね考えて、でいろいろ数字を変更してみたんですよね。で確かにうまく流れはなったんだが、そのせいで予期しないバグ、細かいバグがいっぱい出てきたらしくて、今でもちょっとね調整中らしいんですよね。でもう一つ大変だったのが、そのモーションを一括的に変えられるわけではなく、昔のキャラクター、前作ったキャラクターに戻って、それぞれになんかフレームのタイミング打ち、フラグ打ちをしないといけなくなったそうなんですよ。なるほどね。で、でもやってよかったと、結果としては。僕もそう思う。ジョーの言うことは正しかったんです。Someone saying that 2 years ago, when he played the demo, he also felt the same, that it was slow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just trying to see if I could find okay.
Which one? Do you have it? Do I have it? これかな?
No, can I send you one?
On Discord, yes.
Yeah, is that okay? How about that?
Okay, hold on. I just put this here. Yeah, wait. Okay, I think I
I've lost all my windows now.
Save image. Can I copy and paste on here? 数秒待って。これをここにジャックムーブジフ、ここに保存。OK。OK、保存した。And I have it. Refresh this page. Refresh this page. 2000. Which one was it again? Name of the file.
What was it? 2018 0302
2018
cutscene
there we
dialogue.
あったあった。これドーン。ああ。
There you
OK。
go.
今のですね。
So when you
ドーン。I see.
yeah, so it's like
A few frames.
Yeah, she does the whole punch and then back to idle before anything
Okay, so
happens.
once a motion finishes, the next motion reacts. That's
Yes,
how it was.
yeah. So it was all just action, action, action. There was no overlapping.
Much
So
better.
yeah, having to rebuild.
Yeah.
Or
So
like,
this is the modern one. Boom. Oh yes, much better. Oh, much better. Look at that. That's the modern one now. Boom.
yes.
And then the old one was. Here we go. Punch. Boom. It has impact. It has like weight to it. But if we do this like 100 times,
not on every single ability.
No.
So it's kind of.
なるほど。That is very interesting. Thank you. Thank you very much. そう、だいぶ変わるね。もっと言うと攻撃弾、ダメージ、撃破の4だ。So someone say maybe it was an attack, react, damage, then defeat. So I guess 4 parts, 4 actions maybe?
I mean, yeah, like every ability you have is like a action. So if you're like punching or doing a magic spell or whatever, or the enemy is doing their different type of attack, then they're all different actions. So.
Yeah. And there's also a comment saying that, and I hear this from a lot of developers, once you like have developed a game for quite a while, that becomes the norm. So having someone else test play for you is pretty important, correct?
Yes. Yeah. And so like sometimes it's I mean for me it's not being able to really see that stuff, but then also there's like a bit of ego in there of, well, this is the way that I've designed it and that's going to be the perfect way. And then when someone tells you it's not that great, it's very hard to take that criticism sometime. And it took me a little while to accept it.
Chew it a bit before you swallowed it.
Yes.
今、ニコのコメントでずっとやってるとこれで普通になっちゃうからテストプレイは大事よねってコメントがあって、それを言ったところ、それはその通りなんですが、やっぱりずっと作ってるとこれが俺のやり方だっていうちょっとエゴの部分も出てきちゃって、だから人からこうコメントであったりこうした方がいいんじゃない、これ良くないよって言われた時に、でも俺が作ったのはでもっていう一時期やってやっぱりでも受け入れないといけないっていうの、これがすごい、このなんでしょう、結局テストプレイ大事っていうことなんですけど、そこでの葛藤もやっぱあるんだよねっていう話もしてました。Thank you. That is, yeah. I
mean, there's also like technical considerations where it's like, well, if we do change it, how long is that going to take?
Yeah.
What impact is that going to have on a schedule and stuff? But it's kind of like, well,
yeah.
It ended up convincing me like putting the time in was going to be worth it, and it was. So like 1,000-fold.
And there are like games which listen too much and became like a mundane game. They are in like especially in AAA games that happens a lot. Multiplayer games.
Yeah. You need to know which hills to die on and which battles to pick. I think that makes sense.
Okay. で、アドバイスというか、聞きすぎにも作品としてダメになる、そこのバランスがやっぱ難しいよねっていう話になって、ただ今回、いろんな話を聞いたところ、自分が入れたのは良かったと。で、時間とか、時間よりリソースですね。時間イコールお金ですので、特にゲーム開発。これをするにあたり、どのくらい時間かかるか、でそれをするだけの価値はあるのかっていうのもすごく考えてやったと。で、自分がやったのはでも結果としてすごく良かったっていうことだそうです。Thank you. And I have another question. What was the most fun you had developing or during development? 一番楽しかったのは何ですか？
I think just working with other people that are amazing is like the coolest thing. Just like being able to give someone a brief of like, here's this thing that we need to do, like this type of enemy, or the entire script or story, or like, oh, we need like a little side quest here for something, or like the music, just working with amazingly talented people and then getting that back and just being like, that is the best thing I've ever seen or ever heard or ever read, is just like, I don't know, for like this weird, I don't know, I don't want to call it a silly game because it's turned out okay,
Yeah.
but it's
I know what you mean.
sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes hard for me to believe I'm making a game, and I don't know, just ask other people to also work on it with me,
Mhm.
and that they have put so much love and care into it, and to like receive that back is amazing.
So like it is like seeing your child grow kind of or evolve in a way.
Yes, yeah, but in a way that you have no, or not no, but like
You were surprised, I guess.
yeah, just in like, you think you're gonna, like, you ask someone to do one thing and it comes back and it's different from what you're expecting, because you can never like 100% know what you're going to get back. But when it's just like a thousand times better than you could ever expect, because you are only one person.
うんうんうんうんゲーム開発で一番楽しかった、一番良かったことはですね、やっぱり他人と他の人と一緒に働けたことなんですね。で、それが直接というよりも、他の人と働くことによってです自分が思ってもいない形でゲームが、進化するというか、ゲームが変わるっていうのがすごい良かったそうなんですね。やっぱり一人でずっと作っていると、自分のね、作り方があると。でも他人にこう、それを渡して、で、自分が思ってもいなかった形で帰ってくる。これがすごい良かったっていうのがあるんですね。For me, it was writing the characters and then seeing them come to life in the most goofy yet gorgeous way. It was an absolutely surreal, lovely experience. なるほどな、ショーメリー。で、ライターのアメリさん曰く、彼女にとって一番良かったのは、キャラクターをやっぱりこう書いて、そしてそれが実際にこう何でしょう、命を吹き込まれるっていうのがすごい良かったです。で、それがやっぱりグーフィーってなんか面白おかしく、でもすごい綺麗な形で生き返るっていうのがすごい良かったですっていう、素晴らしい体験をさせていただきましたっていう。Yes, good team player.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, right? Yes, yeah. That's oh, thank you. That was a lovely one. All right. Time's pushing. So, how did you keep up your motivation? Because this is something that every indie developer wants to know.
I think once we got a publisher and funding, I think the answer would be the same as the previous question, just like working with everybody and just, I've got this amazing animation, I can't wait to put it in. There's like this amazing bit of story, I can't wait to like do the cutscene bit for that, or what have you.
How about when you were solo though?
Yeah, so I think that is I don't know, like in the first few years, it was definitely a case of doesn't really matter, I'm just doing this like in my spare time as a hobby. If I don't work on it this week, it's not the end of the world, because I have a job and I need to rest and all that kind of stuff. So it was slow going at first, and then once I quit my job, the motivation was, I only have so much money in the bank, so I need to find I need to build as much as I can to then like show to a publisher and find a publisher who can help with funding and all that kind of stuff. So
モチベーションですね。ゲーム開発はよく聞くんですけど、モチベーションを保つためにやっていたことは何ですかっていうのがあるんですけど、という質問ですね。をしたところ、 まずパブリッシャーとかと出会ってそこで物事が進んでいくとそれ自体がモチベーションになったっていうのは確かにあると。やっぱりそこもいろんな人と働くことによりそしていろんなフィードバックを受け取ることによりそれ自体がモチベーションになったっていうのはあります。でただ個人でやってた時にですねまず仕事はあったんですよ。メインの仕事があったんですがだから趣味で作っていたらしいんです。その時にでも休まないといけないし、ゆっくりやっていこうっていう形でやっていたそうなんですよね。で仕事を辞めてそれに集中することになった時にゲーム開発にですねその時のモチベーションは俺銀行にはもうこれだけしか金がねえこれは何かやらないといけねえということだったそうなんですよ。結局自分をなんかそういうふうに追い込むというかそういう状況にでいるっていうのが大事っぽいですね。A little question about well not little but pitching to publishers.
Sure.
All right. You might have NDA, so you don't have to go into details if you can't. But what do you think was one of the most important things that you had to prepare, or what kind of advice would you give other indie developers in pitching to publishers?
Put your demo out. If you have a demo, put your demo out, especially in like it's Steam Next Fest this week, right?
It is currently.
Yeah, that
Yes, ton of
would
games.
be an amazing opportunity, I think. So like it took me ages to find a publisher. I think I pitched every publisher in the world at the time. Like I pitched a lot of people.
How did you did you just like look for email addresses and send it, or
yeah, look for email addresses or ask like friends if they know anybody at XYZ that they could introduce me to or what have yous. And yeah, a lot of just cold calls of this is hi, I had this game, I would like to pitch it to you. This is my email and what that kind of thing. And it didn't really get anywhere for a long time. I got a lot of that's nice. It's not really our cup of tea, or that's cool, but it's not the right time for us. Like, they've either just signed an RPG or they've signed another project, so they don't have the budget for it, or blah, blah, blah. Like, there's tons of different reasons. And it took a while to understand that that's just business and how it goes. You kind of get a bit of a thick skin. The first few rejections were very, very difficult. Yes. But yeah, I mean, the first publisher I pitched were amazing. They gave me so much good advice, and like they were like, it's not for us, but we think it's got some potential. And like what I sent them was like some of that very, very early stuff. So it was like, oh, okay, well, you're taking me seriously. That's nice. I'm trying to think what else I can say.
I think that's...
Oh yeah, so like we didn't find a publisher until I just put some friends were like, you should just put a demo out. Like, don't worry about like keeping secrets or like not wanting to spoil stuff for players or anything. Just put a demo out, and then you can see if people actually like the game or not. And then off the back of that, I had 3 publishers get in contact with me like within a week or 2, I think.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay, so that was good.
Wow. Do you think
so? Yes.
I think being persistent and having luck, so both I feel from your story.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And like, don't be afraid to pitch people twice. Okay. Unless they're just like, no, we hate this game.
Okay. All right.
But if they're like, that looks nice, it's not the right time, then maybe in 6 months, email them again, or
I like the last
one.
I
wish I had known that, because there's publishers that I would have emailed back and say, hey, it's been X amount of time since I last spoke to you.
Yeah, I see.
Whereas I was kind of like, well,
Hmm.
I don't want to bother them again, or
Mm.
like they don't like it. Or
They might have just forgotten, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. ちょっと、そのチームワークの方、また後で聞きますが、ですね、他のインディーゲーム開発にアドバイスできること、もしくは、パブリッシャーと話しているときに、やっぱりさっきパブリッシャーがモチベーションになったということで、パブリッシャーと話すようにするためのピッチですね、とかはどうしていましたか、もしくはアドバイスできることありますかっていう、まず一つ目が、まずデモ版をとりあえず、出しましょうと。デモ版があると、とてもいいと。フィードバックもらえるし、パブリッシャーからもコンタクトがあったそうなんですよね。で、どこでもいいから、とりあえずずっとピッチしてたそうです。もういろんな E メールだったりとか、知り合いに聞いて、どこどこある、どう、なんか知り合いないっていうのを、とりあえずいろんなパブリッシャーに送ったそうなんですよね。つてを使ったり、メールを使ったりして。で、その時やっぱり返信が、すごく見た目いいんだけどうちではないかなとか今ちょっと時間がとかっていうのはやっぱりあったそうです。で特に最初の数回は、拒否された時にすごい心痛かったそうです。って感じでね。でも、タイミングとか、単純にパブリッシャーの色に合わないっていうのもあるのでそれがビジネスだっていうのに慣れるまではちょっと時間かかったっていうのはあるそうなんですね。だから最初の頃はちょっと辛かったっていうのはあるそうなんですが、運が良かったのはですね最初のパブリッシャーにピッチしたところですねもらった返信がうちの色ではないけどこここうだったらこここうだったらいいよみたいなアドバイスめちゃくちゃしてくれたそうでそこはすごい運が良かったみたいです。なんかそこはそうとても良かったそうなんですね。でデモ版をもう出せばいいんじゃないって知り合いに言われてデモ版出してみたら1週間ぐらいでとりあえずパブリッシャー3つから連絡が逆に来たそうなんですよね。だからそこはすごい良かったっていうのはあるそうですね。There's one question about the teamwork. So wasn't it hard to keep up like a good teamwork or good team for such a long time?
So we only had the full team
Hmm.
once we found a publisher, which was
Mm.
2019, end of
Mhm.
2019.
Mhm.
So no, it wasn't hard to keep the team together because before that it was
Mm.
either only me or who else was on? Joe did a bunch of the sprite work and kind of enemies and backgrounds and things, and some other animators, Gary Lucken being one. I'm trying to think if we worked with anybody else. I think it was just Gary and Joe, and then Charlie was doing some music. So it wasn't really a very big team to get that demo together.
What do you think is one of the key things for a good team? What did you like think about anything, or did you just get along well?
We just got along well. I think. I mean, one to skip ahead. One of your next questions is what advice would you like to give past you regarding development? And that is, I would change everything that I did. Like this was not a good. I mean, a game came out at the end, but the production process was not very good at all.
Would you have like a team? Would you have brought a team earlier on?
Yes. So bring team earlier on and get everybody together. Like on Jack Move, everyone was quite siloed. So there's like the artists, Amelie doing the writing, and then Charlie doing the music, and Adam doing sound effects, and no one really talked to each other amongst those teams.
Wait, so everyone was just working on what they wanted to work on, or
just like what their part of the game was really,
and that worked okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I was there trying to hold it all together and make sure everybody going in the right direction and everything. But if I could do it differently, I would. I mean, it's partly because, I mean, not partly. It is because the process was so long. It started as a hobby project and then got more serious with a small amount of my own money put into it to hire some animators and get some music and stuff. And then once we actually got some publisher money to then like bring bring the rest of the team on board. But just because I'd worked in this weird way before, when we got everybody together, it wasn't kind of like together and the game was already like halfway through production kind of thing. Whereas, you know, on the next game, hopefully, we'll be able to like have a chunk of money and just get everybody together from the beginning and be like, okay, let's all figure out what this is and go in the same direction.
It sounds like that everyone you worked with was awesome.
Yes. Yes. Everybody is incredible at what they did and what they do, and it's kind of staggering to me sometimes that it's all come together, seeing as like the production process was so weird and a bit of a mess. There weren't any like terrible like
incidents,
arguments or like incidents or stuff. Like Joe had to take some time off for some personal things, which threw a little bit of a spanner in the works, but that was just okay. Now we need to find some more animators to help us out and catch up and things. But it wasn't generally, there was no like creative differences. But again, that's something else I would like to change, is that this was mostly my game and like I had a vision for it and what we wanted to do, and just kind of asking other people to help. Right? Which feels a bit weird. I mean, everybody had, you know, I hope they felt that they had complete creative freedom with what they did. But it feels kind of very much my project, whereas I would like the next thing I do to be everyone's project. So
I get what you mean. I think I get what you're trying to say, because you've been with the game for so long, and especially solo for so long, that it feels that, you know, it is definitely a part of you. And even though you had many people help you and many fantastic things that people have helped you with, it feels, you know, maybe too personal, which is kind of I wouldn't say negative, but kind of a thing that is a gripe for you, maybe. But if you could bring in more people from the start, if you could have the same team from the start, you may have had a different perspective.
Yes. I think it's asking everybody to be bought in on my idea rather than it being a shared idea. If that makes sense.
So that was what you want to change, or that's how you want it to be?
I would like it to be everybody's idea.
I see. All right. You wanted to go through the process with the team that you worked with.
Yes.
You want you want everyone to feel what you're feeling.
Yes.
I guess. I see. That's okay.
And I hope they do in a small way. I hope they do in a big way. But
you feel that you could have done better, right?
Yes. Exactly.
That's nice. That's heartwarming.
Well, okay. I mean, it's also just like the practicalities of making a game. Like, it would have probably been a lot cheaper to do it the second way from the start.
Instead of, you know, picking.
It is a bit weird once we got to that point.
All right. Okay.
Good luck translating.
Hey, I'll skip some stuff. Don't worry. 長期間良いチームワークを保つの大変だったのだっていうことに関していろいろ話が深まっていったんですけど、まず、運もあると思うんですけど、フルチーム、パブリッシャーがついてフルチームだと2019年ぐらいなんですね。だから3年ぐらいらしいんですよ。でその3年間全く問題なかったと。なぜならばみんなとりあえず馬がすごいあったらしいんですよね。でそれ以前もそのフリーランスとして誰かを雇い入れたりとかした時も全然問題なくうまくいっちゃったっていうのがあるそうなんですよ。 でどうやら仕事としてはですね、各々が、アーティスト、ストーリー、サウンミュージック、サウンドエフェクトの方ですね、それぞれが個別でなんかやって、それを、江戸さんがまあ見てこういろいろやっていったのが基本になってるらしいんですよ。っていうのがあるそうなんです。なので、そこはまあ全然問題なく進んじゃったっていうのがあるそうなんですね。でもし、後の質問だったんですけど、もし、ですね、過去に戻って、過去の自分にアドバイスができるとしたらどうなのか。Oh, someone saying, Hi Ed, you're the best. Yes, he's muted, but he's saying thank you very much.
Oh yes, that's my friend Tom. I will.
Oh, okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. Yes, he's the best, by the way. で、そこで、どこまで行ったっけ、巡り合わせが行って、いろいろ話をして、で、もし過去の自分にアドバイスできるとしたら、ぶっちゃけ最初からこのチームで働きたかったっていうのがあるそうなんですよね。途中からやっぱりずっと自分で作ってきて、途中からチームになったので、自分が、思っている、自分が関わってきたよりも、やっぱりどうしてもチームは新しく来たので、浅く関わってるじゃないですか。なので、本来ならばずっと一緒にこのプロセスを味わいたかったなっていうのがあるそうなんです。というのが今の話になります。チームはちょっと運もあるのかな。とりあえずいい感じで、やっぱアーティストの方と話ねの呼んだ時もどうやらすごい良かったみたいなので、そのアーティストを見てこの人に惚れて雇ったっていうことなんでね。そこすごい良かったですね。Just a little thing about the music. Sorry, jumping topic. I love the music, by the way. It's
Thank you.
really, it's freaking awesome. It's lovely. Especially, I most like the after you win a match, after you win a
Oh, okay.
fight
Yeah,
enemy,
yeah.
that really always gets me. Yeah, got this disco-y, very nice. He's probably not in here, but props to that. It's really lovely. 音楽本当に好
I
き。
will.
音楽本当に好き。Yes.
I will
Okay.
pass
Oh,
that on.
yes, please do, please do. Really nice, really nice. っていうのがあって、あと、I think I go to the last one. What would you like gamers to enjoy about your game? この、ゲーマーにこのゲームの何を楽しんでほしいですか？
I would like them to eat a little snack, just a little RPG snack. I think that's. I like what we wanted to make was like a small RPG. I'm an old man, and I don't have time to play
40
RPGs
hours for 40.
anymore for
Yeah.
40 hours. I
know.
just started Yakuza Like a
Ah,
Dragon
yeah.
today
Oh,
because there's a million games that I've not played in the
yes.
last 10 years because like I'm making the game. I don't want to play another game and be like, oh, that looks cool. I steal that or
yeah.
something because I've already got enough. I can't change things. So there's loads of games that I put off playing. Started playing that today. I'm like 3 hours in. It's still the intro, and I fell asleep. Like, guys, I've got another. There's going to be another like 30 hours of this game, and I'm already falling asleep.
And there's like 10 of those series.
Yeah, there's so many. Like, I just couldn't believe how much time they just spend. Like, I mean, I know it's an RPG, and RPGs have story and stuff, but it's like all I've done is like walk down a road and like had one fight in like 3 hours. So really, so yeah, what we wanted to make with Jack Move was like a short, contained adventure. It's not trying to do anything amazing. It's just trying to be like a little snack-sized RPG that you can enjoy, and once it's done, it's done.
Thank you, thank you. このゲーム何を楽しんでほしいかっていうのをお聞きしたところですね。RPG のお菓子を食ったような感じになってほしいそうです。RPG ケーキになるのかな。今話してたのが、どうやら最近龍が如くをちょっと始めたそうなんですよね。まあぶっちゃけここ10年はもうずっとゲーム開発ずっとやってきたから、ゲームをプレイして、これ使いたいな、これ使いたいなってならないようにあまりゲームプレイしてこなかったと。で龍が如くを3時間ほどプレイしたのにまだ、最初のチュートリアル状態でやるとこれもうね寝ちゃったと途中でもうね、しかもシリーズまだあと10作品ぐらいあるでしょ。おっさんだから大変なのよっていう話をしてるそうです。 なのでこのねまあ大体何時間9時間ぐらいだかな7、8、9時間ぐらいでもサクッと終われるようなゲームを作りたかったので、それを RPG そのサクッとした RPG を楽しんでほしいのが一番あるそうですね。俺めっちゃわかるんだよね。ね、わかるよね。長いゲームちょっと辛くなってくる。40時間60時間とかプレイしたいけどさ、いやでもっていうのはねわかるね。そうやっぱ8時間前後ぐらいでいけるよね。そうだよね。なのでyes, we feel, yeah. We totally feel, yeah. And I definitely understand. Yeah, long games, yes.
Like, I don't mind a long
Yeah.
game. It's
I
just
know, I know, I know,
sometimes
I know,
just
I know,
a
I know
shorter
what you mean.
game is.
Yeah. そういや、龍が如くも面白いのさ。面白いの。ね、right? Like the Yakuza. It's fun, right? It's fun, but it's just, it's
There's so much like
yeah,
just
so much
oh,
stuff
they're
to
just
do.
telling
Yeah.
this bit of the
Yeah.
story and just trying to get. It's like they could have cut 90. From what I played so far, they could have cut 90% out.
That's
So
for you. Yes, yes, yes. For us, that's how I feel, right?
Yeah.
When it first came out, I played it no problem. I really enjoyed it. But playing it now, I think I would like to skip a few parts.
yes,
I do understand. That's also a bit of JRPGs do have like an hour before you can start moving your character. So
yes. So that's what I wanted. Yeah, just cut out all the unnecessary bits. Just like leave the raw.
yeah.
What's it? Like Jump Move. It starts. There's like 5 dialogue boxes, and then you're in a battle. Like,
Yes.
straight away, and then it says off you go. That's
That's
there's not any. There's like 2 dialogue boxes after that, and then you are left to explore the dungeon. Just like get in there. Like that's what Final Fantasy VII did, right? You arrive on the train,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and then they're like, off we go, and then
Yes.
you're in it. Like games hardly do that these days. There's like an hour intro of like blah 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 blah. Like just get to the action.
Yeah. Indeed,
Show the game. Don't hang around.
Yeah. So it's the opposite from movies, right? It's show don't tell. No, wait. In movies, it's show don't tell. In games, is play don't tell, or play don't show.
Yes. Yes. There's like what's the Smash guy? Masahiro?
Sakurai-san, yeah.
Yes. Sakurai-san's YouTube channel that he just started about game design. He has a video that's like, play the game. Don't do the 100-hour intro. Just let your players play the game. Save your flashy bit till later. Like,
I totally get that. やっぱり冒頭でやっぱりね、このチュートリアル長すぎて操作がないっていうのがやっぱり嫌だと。なのでジャックムーブも始まってちょっとダイヤルがなんか5つぐらい出てすぐに始まる。それどうしてもやりたかったんです。だからいわゆるコンパクトでっていう。どうしてもやっぱりね、あるじゃん。まだ始まんねえのか。コントローラー置くっていうね。みたいなね。そういうのもあるからね。だからそこをやらずに自分はサクッといけるのやっちゃうっていうのをね。そうなんです。やっぱそうで、桜井さんの動画を見てるそうです。あれいいよね。説得力あるしね、あれ。I'm Death Stranding. I'm gonna try. I've been talking with people, and they say they do recommend Death Stranding, so I might try and play. But I hear that's like at least 40 hours long.
I can't even remember how much I played. I think I got near the end, and then gave up at some point. I don't know. It's good though. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. はい。という、お話になります。You did, you said Yakuza. What kind of games did you play? Like, or do you have any favorite games?
Yes. I like that. I like a lot of stuff. I like a good shooter. Like I played a lot of Apex a while ago. I am playing Splatoon at the moment.
Oh,
I've
3.
gone to that with some friends. Just on the off chance. The other week I was like, I never played this before. They're playing it. It looks fun.
Yeah.
I finally got some. My son is finally big enough that I get some time in the evenings now to play stuff. And now that I don't have a massive game to work on, that is an incredible game. Oh my gosh!
You enjoying it?
Yeah, it's like a masterpiece of design. It's incredible how good it is, and it's such a shame it's maybe a little bit too cartoony, and like I've always been like, oh, those squid people are too weird for me.
The squid people.
Yeah.
All right. I see.
So I've always looked at it and been like, it kind of looks weird, and maybe it's like a kid's game or something. But like playing it, it's like genius. Like the paint thing is just amazing.
Yeah, I do agree on that one. Yeah.
What else have I been playing? I got the new Monkey Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of played a lot of adventure games as a kid, so that's fun. What else am I playing? Yeah, Yakuza, because I'm like, what are turn-based games? What are modern turn-based games doing?